world of design and engineering, updated software ensures access to the latest features, which in turn can improve productivity, collaboration, and security. Many of the engineers in machine design's audience are familiar with SolidWorks from Dassault Systems, but what they might not yet be familiar with are the latest features of its release for 2025. Joining us today to walk through what's new with SolidWorks is the company's CEO, Manish Kumar. Thank you so much for being here today, Manish.
Thank you for talking to me, Sharon.
So let's jump right in and talk about these latest features. So how do you see the enhancements that SolidWorks 2025 has directly impacting the daily workflows of the design engineers?
If I have to provide to you all possible enhancements that we have done, as I said, I'll take 3 hours. So what I did was I took liberty to pick 5 of my favorite ones, and I'll try to provide you with some insight. So these are the 5 areas in which I would say these are my 5 favorite areas where we have done a lot of enhancements, and I'll be able to take you through some of them. Collaboration to me is my biggest and most favorite topic. And in collaboration, we have done a lot, right from getting users onboarded onto the platform, because all of our users, they are used to using SolidWorks on a desk, on a PC, on a Windows machine. When your data is going in a folder versus when the data is going somewhere in the cloud, there is a change in how you work. So we are trying to help them by providing quick tours, embedded quick tours inside the software to help them get on the platform in an easy way. We have community features inside platform where you can do ad hoc collaboration with your community. That community is inbuilt inside SolidWorks. So maybe instead of me talking, let me try to show some demos. So this is the quick tour of SolidWorks, where the first time a user is using SolidWorks with 3D Experience platform, we give them a guided tour of how their data is going to go to the platform. Once they have saved it to the platform, how they will retrieve it and so on. And the whole idea is that we want them to have a pleasurable experience right from day one when they start to use the platform. Then if I go to the next one, we have communities embedded right within SolidWorks, which means you can have conversation with anyone in your team, or you can create posts, you can capture images from SolidWorks, you can embed it in there, you can even embed in the entire 3D model in there. And once you embed the 3D model in there, you can start to do annotations like you just saw. So this is done in a way that you do not look in 2D world anymore. You play really in 3D world. And 3D, as you know, is the best possible way to explain ideas to each other. In any given assembly, it's not just one single person working in an assembly. Multiple people might be working in an assembly. So we are making sure that anytime you're working in an assembly, everyone is up to date all the time. You get notifications, but we do not force you to take the latest changes all the time, because you might be in the middle of a change. And we are, I should say, we realize the need of our clients that they want to decide the time on which they want to take the updates from others. So we do not force all the changes all the time. We give notification and we allow the user to pick the time when they want to integrate those changes. So this is an example where a drawing is submitted to the platform, but you want your manager to approve it, or maybe you want multiple people to approve it to go into production. So this is where even platform comes in handy, because once the data is in the platform, the workflow that the data has to go through in order to get into the released state can be done from anywhere in the world. Because if my manager is traveling, they might have an iPad, they can open the iPad, go to the platform, and they will be able to take the action of approving my design. And once they take the action, drawing is automatically updated. No one needs to reopen the drawing. So this is, whether it is approval coming within the department, across the department, doesn't matter. You can be anywhere in the world in order to take part in that particular kind of collaboration. When you have the data can be structured or unstructured. So structured data is data that is living in for a given assembly. You may have a very nice structure of projects and how you store them. Versus unstructured might be, for example, on my hard drive, I have the best example I can give you is my download folder. I download things, they just go in an unstructured way. So how do you access all the data that is on 3D Experience platform? There is one single unique place on the platform on the top right menu. It's My Content. You go there, you find your entire content, whether it is structured or unstructured. We allow our users to even create a structure in the chaos, in the sense you can create bookmark folders and put data in bookmark folders in order to create a structure. So we provide full flexibility where you can ignore any structure whatsoever, and you can use our search tool on the platform, and you'll be able to literally go without needing any search, or you can create your own structure. So it's entirely, we give that choice to our users. Eventually, if you ask me, my belief is that eventually everyone will go towards search, because on Google, you do not have a structure. You just go and type something and you find it, right? And eventually in big data world, it is going to happen. In fact, if I tell you that use my laptop and try to find something, you'll not be able to find it because I have my own structure. I have my own technique of structuring my data. Whereas on Google, I can find everything. Ultimately, search might be the final goal for everyone, but this is for them to be, it is a stepping stone in order to not disrupt their workflows drastically. So far, I talked about collaboration, and this is my biggest piece. I would say this is my most favorite part. The next one I would say is value offers. And this is, I would try to explain it with just one slide here. It was announced at 3D Experience World, but we have finally released it. The reason why SolidWorks became SolidWorks is because we tried to simplify it to a point where there were only 3 versions for our users to buy. It is good, better, best. SolidWorks Standard, Pro, Premium. We are trying to apply the same exact logic in order to combine a lot of value together and give users a very simplistic value up kind of approach in the same exact way as SolidWorks. And all these offers that you are seeing are going to meet that need. Now, there is one thing I would like to highlight, which is 3D Experience SolidWorks Ultimate, because this is a new offer that we from SolidWorks are launching. SolidWorks Ultimate is a package which contains applications coming, or a lot of applications coming from all these different domains. And the idea is that our users who want to not think about, will I be able to deliver experience, they should be able to go to literally buy SolidWorks Ultimate, because here you have the design capabilities, all the design capabilities that we have from SolidWorks. You have simulation capabilities coming from both SolidWorks as well as Simulia, collaboration capabilities in order to ensure that no one is left behind. You are allowed to manage your data. You manage your life cycle of your data. All the rendering capabilities are part of it, as well as the manufacturing is part of that whole package, SolidWorks Ultimate. And on manufacturing, there is NC Shop Floor Programmer app, which is coming from, or role, I should say, it's coming from Delmia. The other good news is that this role is going to be included as part of every single offer of SolidWorks. So whether you are using Standard, Pro, or Prem, it is going to be delivered to every user, and it comes with the 3.5 milling axis milling machining capability. So this is done precisely for, I would say, SolidWorks users, keeping SolidWorks users in mind, because this was created with simplicity in mind. This was created for SolidWorks users. Next favorite piece of mine is ECAD, MCAD workflows. And this was again announced at 3D Experience World, but now it's being released. As you look around, most of the devices that you see has some kind of PCB in it. But the workflow between PCB engineer and MCAD engineer is not that good, I would say, because it's file-based today. And we are trying to get away from the file-based transactions and go towards a full platform-based collaboration approach. And this is where we had to do a lot of work, including enhancing our SircuitWorks application. So we have enhanced SircuitWorks application, which is also included as part of SolidWorks Standard. We revamped the entire SircuitWorks UI to make it look modern, to make it look professional, to make it pleasurable, I should say. And there are functional enhancements in order to support copper trace data. Then we supported IDX file before it was not supported. We are going to release the functionality with which we will be able to work with the component library coming from Cadence. Everything will work in a seamless way between Cadence platform and our platform to provide users who are using circuit, who are doing circuit design, and users who are doing mechanical CAD design in order to create both the things at the same time without any headaches whatsoever. The next one is performance. Now, on performance, we have done a lot of things, but I would show you two videos, and then I'll just quickly walk over functionalities that we have delivered. So here you're looking at two windows side by side, SolidWorks 2024 and 2025. And if you look at the change in the interactive speed between those two windows, you can notice it. So this is all sketches, and you can see the difference right away. In a similar way, if you're looking at the assemblies, these two assemblies are side by side. If you have to go through a typical workflow, you will select something, and then you have selected it, then you'll try to make modifications. And again, you can see the difference side by side. It's not just these two enhancements. We have done a lot of different enhancements. I'll just walk you through the deck without explaining every single feature. The one which I will highlight on this particular thing, on this particular page is silhouette defeature. So now, given any given model, we have this capability to defeature, where you can say that take the model and make the features disappear so that I can share it with anyone outside without exposing my intellectual property. And this was a tedious way, but now using the silhouette of any given object, we are able to defeature a given part. We give more information to the users in order for them to know if there is a performance problem, what part might be causing that performance problem. We are able to repair sketches and dimensions, which takes a lot of time, because if you did something, if you made some model changes and things started to break, auto repairing, all those things are going to improve our users' life. What I should mention is that we did not just look at functionality, rather we looked at workflows. That in a given workflow, when a user is typically trying to work on an assembly, they are not just trying to open an assembly and close the assembly. They want to open the assembly, they want to select certain things, they want to rotate it, they want to create mates, they want to delete things. So we looked at various workflows, and we tried to improve the overall time of a given workflow. And we have achieved a huge progress between SolidWorks 2024 and 2025. So what you saw were some performance enhancements and parts. Now these are performance enhancements in assembly. We have this mode called LDR mode, in which extremely large assemblies can be opened. In past, our users were they needed to go to sub-assemblies and capture some specific information with which, without loading the entire model, they were able to work. Because by saying that certain faces are important on a Boeing plane, if you're trying to place a seat on a Boeing plane, all you care about is the floor of the Boeing plane and the base plane of the seat of the Boeing, which is going to go on there, right? So the way to work in LDR is that in the Boeing plane, you say, I'm going to use the floor, which is going to be exposed for mating purposes. And on the chairs, I'm going to use the base of the chair in order for it to mate. Then I'll be able to load the entire assembly in a very fast fashion, because I'm loading less data, but I'll be able to do my work. There was more work needed because we had to ask our users to go open sub-assembly and try to capture this info. Now we allow them to capture it at the top level itself. So a lot of unnecessary clicks that they had to go through, it's gone. So it's going to improve their workflows in large assemblies. And lastly, I would talk about some delighters. And everything that you are going to see here is essentially asked by users, whether it was ability to convert mesh to BREP, or whether it was pattern of reference geometry. So believe it or not, in SolidWorks, we had planes, but we could not have created patterns of planes or ref axis and so on. And our users kind of, they knocked on our doors saying that, why? And we delivered it for them. So in fact, I can creating curve through XYZ points. You can create points at any XYZ point, meaning you can precisely define points. They wanted to create a curve through all those XYZ points. Now they can. But essentially, at every 3D Experience World, when we go there, we ask our users to vote for their top 10 list of enhancements that they want to achieve. Now, we not only we look at the top 10, rather we look at all possible submissions, even for the past years. And if we combine all that together, that becomes our database, which is essentially vetted by our users. And this is a very good database of enhancement requests. And even this year, we have delivered almost 39 or 40 enhancements purely driven by that list that came from 3D Experience World Top 10 enhancement list.
As engineering practices evolve with emerging technologies, do you see SolidWorks continuing to adapt in the next few years? And if so, where do you see that happening? Maybe not, in 2025, but maybe 2026 and beyond, since you've already updated everything for 25.
The reason why we are integrating or we are trying to collaborate with Cadence is because we do see that mechanical objects are no longer static objects, and they are not just driven by kinematics anymore. In fact, if you go to different manufacturing plants for that matter, you see a lot of automation.
Yes.
Which means objects are, which at some point where could have only be driven by motors, and that motor is driving a kinematic or some mechanism. It's no longer a mechanism. It might be driven by mechatronics now. So mechatronics is a big green field for me. And I see that in mechanical world, it will come to fruition. And when we go to mechatronics, it's not just about mechanical objects and control systems. It's also about software. So combine those things together, you will see drastic changes in coming years, I would say.
I appreciate it. Actually, we've run out of time, but you covered it all. I really appreciate the time that you spent with us today. And so thank you so much for being here. And until next time, folks, stay curious.